Coming up on American Black Journal, we're going to talk with a Detroit artist who is behind an exhibition that celebrates the life and legacy of acclaimed author James Baldwin. Plus, we'll tell you about a summer fest on the grounds of the Marygrove Conservancy, and students at the downtown boxing gym get a lesson in cooking. Don't go anywhere. American Black Journal starts right now.
From Delta faucets to Behr paint, Masco Corporation is proud to deliver products that enhance the way consumers all over the world experience and enjoy their living spaces. Masco, serving Michigan communities since 1929.
Support also provided by the Cynthia and Elsa Ford Fund for Journalism at Detroit PBS.
DTE Foundation is a proud sponsor of Detroit PBS. Among the state's largest foundations committed to Michigan-focused giving, we support organizations that are doing exceptional work in our state. Learn more at dtefoundation.com.
Also brought to you by Nissan Foundation and viewers like you. Thank you.
Welcome to American Black Journal. I'm Stephen Henderson. A traveling exhibition that honors the life of noted writer and civil rights activist James Baldwin has made its final U.S. stop at the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History right here in Detroit. The exhibit opened on August 2nd, which would have been Baldwin's 100th birthday, and it runs through February of next year. It's titled Frontline Prophet, James Baldwin, and it features the work of Detroit-based artist Sabrina Nelson. I spoke with Sabrina about the inspiration behind this major project. Sabrina Nelson, it is always delightful to see you. Welcome to American Black Journal.
Thank you, Stephen Henderson. I am always happy to listen and also see you out on the streets of Detroit. So.
Yes, right. We always seem to run into each other just wandering around.
Yes.
So tell me about Frontline Prophet, James Baldwin, this exhibit at the Wright.
Well, I can tell you the beginnings of it and how it started. You know, a lot of people will always ask, you know, how did you get so obsessed with James Baldwin? And I have to respond that I wasn't obsessed with James Baldwin, but I was invited by our Detroit poet laureate, Jessica Moore, to travel with her in 2016 to the James Baldwin Conference at American University of Paris. I was on the plane with her, Melba Boyd, and Magdalena from U of M. And I just wanted to do as much reading as I could on James Baldwin before I got there, because I knew more about Buford Delaney, who was his mentor, who's an artist, more so than I knew about James Baldwin. And so I was invited by Jessica to paint live during her culinary session. So I'd never drawn Baldwin before, and I had done as much reading. And when I got there and I started drawing his image, I felt something. Now, I don't know how many people feel things spiritually, but I felt something in my hairs raised on my arms, and I had never drawn him before. But I felt like he touched me. He came to me, and then I asked, after I experienced my poltergeist moment, I said, you know, if you're here, I need you to teach me how to know you. And sometimes I feel like the spirit has jokes, because it went deep and heavy, and I've learned so many things about James Arthur Baldwin and his life and his activism and his artivism as well. Yeah. This is how it started. So it started off with small sketchbooks and drawing him during what we normally call Inktober. I didn't like the word prompts, so I changed it to Blacktober. And I said, who can I draw? This is, of course, after I came back from Paris. Who can I draw every day for 31 days? Which ended up into 91 days, because I didn't stop.
Wow.
So that's the beginning of this Frontline Prophet. And with Ashara, and Omomisha, who are my co-curators, they came to my studio and said, you know, hey, what are you doing with these little sketchbooks? What are they? And I said, well, you know, I did a study of James Baldwin. And she was like, what are you doing with them? And I said, well, they're in my studio. And she says, we should do a show. And I'd already talked to a friend of mine named Micah Rashid about it, but I wasn't really sure how I was going to do it. And with Ashara suggesting the show travel, we've traveled now to six cities. And now after, you know, being home, we will go to Paris to make it a full circle. And so it's been a really amazing journey. It's been a great journey with Ashara Ekandayo and also Omomisha McGowan from Irwin House Gallery, for those listening in Detroit. Both of these women, all of us, are born in Detroit, raised here, and live between Oakland, California, and Detroit, or Harlem, New York, and Detroit. So we are all here, and this is how it started, and this is how it sort of spread into the Ashara named the show, by the way, Frontline Prophet, James Baldwin, that you can see now at the Charles H. Wright Museum up until February 28th.
So one of my favorite things about Baldwin is what I'll call complication. It's not just that his struggle was about being African American and male in a society that didn't value him for that reason. You know, he had struggles on many different fronts, and I think when we do right by him, we tell that story. We tell the story of those complications, that nuance. When you were hearing from him, from this poltergeist, what did he say to you about complication, about that nuance?
Well, I didn't really, I just felt his spirit. And when I draw him, I feel like I've baptized myself in his image enough to know his eyes, his expressions, his voice. When I walk in a room and I hear a recording and I hear it's his voice, I'm like, whoa, you know. So I think my job is to reopen a portal, if you will, so that he can re-enter in this time. He's never really left. And during his physical time here with us, there were no awards given to him. And there were lots of activists who felt like he was using his platform, star power, to just be seen in the moment. But he really was concerned about, you know, what it means to be Black in this country, where he would say things like, I picked the cotton, I built the homes, I tilled the land, and have a country that doesn't think of you as this important being, you know. And so I think, you know, having his visual image and also augmented reality in the museum will allow people who've forgotten who he was, what his words were, and how he walked and left a very solid footprint here with things that were happening then back in the 50s, the 60s, and now still happening here, in how we value beings less than we value land. And so with him dying at 63 years old, and I know he died in 1987, and I was very pregnant with Mario. And so Mario will be 37 this year, and I will be 57 this year. And so just thinking about the time that he went through between 1924 and his timeline of 1987 and what he witnessed. And so when you ask a young person who may be much younger than Mario who James Baldwin was or is, sometimes they'll go, well, I've heard of him, but I don't really know him. So I think bringing his image back, celebrating his centennial life, adding the augmented reality will allow them to hear his voice, will allow people to see his face and think about his political views and him as a poet who also told the truth about who we were in this country and how he had to leave this country to go away to find out who he really is,
Yeah.
or you know, sort of when you're running away, you really are running to find yourself. And you are always with you no matter where you go. So I think that journey to Paris gave him enough quietness to find who James Arthur Baldwin was. And
Right.
so I think he said to me, maybe not in words, you know, I'm coming back. I'm coming through your work and through the work of these co-curators in this museum and these journeys that we've had from Harlem to New Orleans, from New Orleans to Oakland, from Oakland to Chicago, and now in Detroit, and then to Paris. How we can hold this Frontline Prophet up and say, hey, he did some work here, and I think we need to revisit his cliff notes. Because he said some things. He even told kids in Oakland, you can beat the president. Maybe not in this lifetime as history is right now, but within your lifetime, you can be the president of this United States. And so, you know, when the hens come to roost, you know, it just makes me happy that he was definitely prophesizing.
Yeah, absolutely.
On his truths and what we need to do together to make this place better than what it is, and to stop the craziness that's happening, you know.
And the othering, Sabrina Nelson, again, always great to see you. Really looking forward to this exhibit being at the Wright through next February, right?
Yes, February the 28th.
The Marygrove Conservancy in Detroit is holding its annual Campus Summerfest on Saturday, August 10th. The free community resource fair provides a day of fun for the entire family with live entertainment, campus tours, health screenings, food, games, giveaways, and much more. I got all of the details from the Conservancy's Director of Programs and Engagement, Turkessa Baldridge. It's great to have you here representing the Marygrove Conservancy, such an important place in Detroit and such an important institution. Tell me about Summerfest at Marygrove.
Absolutely. So Campus Summerfest is now in its third year. And this is an opportunity for Marygrove, our partners, and our tenants to come together and be very intentional about inviting the community in formally. We always say that Marygrove is the community's campus, but we want people to know that they're welcome there. And not only that they're welcome there, but we want them to know and understand all of the wonderful things that are going on at Marygrove with our tenants and a lot of the organizations and people who partner with us in the work. So it's definitely a day of fun. It's a day of resources. It's a day filled with community.
Yeah, the relationship between Marygrove and the community, of course, dates back to, you know, the founding of the college. But talk about how you maintain that as the Conservancy and how you make those connections, especially with the neighborhoods right around the campus. I mean, one of the great things about Marygrove is it's right in the middle of several neighborhoods.
It is. And so that's part of what I do as the Director of Programs and Engagement. I'm often out in community connecting not only with organizations, but with the residents. I attend the local meetings, the different Block Club and Community Association meetings to connect with the residents and inform them about what's going on on campus. So that's something that I do in my job. We're very intentional about getting the word out. We have a newsletter. And so we don't only share about what is going on campus, but we collect information from the community and we inform our partners, our tenants, and those who subscribe about what's going on in that area. So it's a great relationship, and a lot of those community organizations will actually be at Campus Summerfest talking about the different Block clubs and what they do, and the partners and the people in the area are always invited to come and join in.
Yeah. What about folks who show up? Talk about some of the things that they will see and experience at Summerfest.
Great. So one of the most important things is connecting with our educational partners, a lot of organizations around the community. We also have Michigan Humane, and that is a partner of ours who will be there. And outside of the wonderful resources, which is the main reason, there'll be a lot of fun. So we'll have a DJ, we'll have live entertainment. One thing that Marygrove does is we're very intentional about supporting arts and culture. And we have some of those organizations on campus, different dance programs and performance groups. You know, the Detroit Youth Choir is a tenant of ours. And so we'll have the dance groups performing. We'll have a DJ. We have a favorite clown who comes that the kids love. So there'll definitely be entertainment. There'll be games of all ages. We have a group that's specifically going to coordinate gaming activities. There'll be a game truck. There'll be bounce houses, there'll be horseback riding. So there'll be a ton for people to do while they're on campus on August 10th.
Yeah. Let's talk about what's going on with Marygrove now that it is a very different institution, and how that's all going. There's a lot of things that are happening there. And I'm not sure everyone quite knows all of the things that are going on there.
Yeah, there's just a lot. And that's one of the reasons why we have these annual events, to invite people in, because when they come, they can connect directly with the schools who will be there for Campus Summerfest. There is a P20 partnership that we have. The Marygrove Learning Community is housed at the Marygrove campus. And what that is a prenatal through college and career partnership. And our partners include Starfish Family Services that runs the Marygrove Early Education Center, the Detroit Public Schools Community District, and they manage the school at Marygrove, which is K through 12 education. And we're also in partnership with the University of Michigan Marcel School of Education. Their teachers in education actually do their residency there is kind of formatted like a medical residency. And the way that it's structured, and they student teach there. Also in August, about a week or two after Campus Summerfest, the University of Michigan will officially launch the LEAPS program. So the University of Michigan will have students that will be housed at Marygrove, and they will be starting LEAPS, which is learning, equity, and problem solving for the public good. So there's really a lot between our tenants, our P20 community, our annual events, which we have 4 signature events. So there's always something new and exciting going on at Marygrove.
Talk about the things people can find on campus.
Absolutely. So we have the Detroit Breakfast Club. And that's a collective of Detroit area artists that come together to show their work, to talk, to learn from each other, to present. And they meet at the Marygrove campus every Monday. And it's a few hundred people who meet on campus every Monday at 5 p.m. And they didn't have a home. So Marygrove made campus available as a meeting place for Detroit area artists to come together for support and to showcase their work. We have a theater on campus, a beautiful theater
An
that
unbelievable theater, right?
Yes. It seats almost 400. So we have a lot of organizations coming in, bringing different types of arts to the stage. There's always activity going on around arts, culture, and dance. And we have a lot of tenants who are artists at Marygrove, and some of them may come out and present some of their art at Summerfest.
And finally today, a new program at the downtown boxing gym in Detroit is helping young people learn their way around the kitchen. In addition to playing sports and getting help with homework, the students are getting a lesson in the culinary arts from a local chef. BridgeDetroit's Micah Walker has more on the nonprofit's latest initiative.
Every day after school, hundreds of kids head to downtown boxing gym on Detroit's east side to shoot some hoops, get help with their homework, or hit the boxing ring. And they're also having fun in the kitchen.
So you do that for all of them, and then you'll come around and do it.
That's Molly Mitchell, the new Associate Director of Culinary Arts for the downtown boxing gym. She prepares fresh, from-scratch meals and snacks for DBG students each night, totaling more than 1,000 meals per week. Mitchell is also teaching kids how to cook nutritious meals and is developing a culinary arts curriculum for the organization. Downtown Boxing Gym serves students ages 8 to 18 across Metro Detroit, with continued mentorship and support through the age of 25. Mitchell was the owner of Rose's Fine Food on Jefferson, which shut its doors last year.
When I closed Rose's last year, I was really interested in going into culinary education in some manner, and so it just really worked out for me to sort of get in contact with DBG at the same time that I was closing Rose's, because they were ready to really flesh out their program, their cooking program, because they just opened this amazing commercial kitchen. The timing really worked out for me to come here, and I'm able to pursue my passion and also help them out with their commercial kitchen. So it's just a really good match.
Molly, what's it been like creating this culinary arts program?
I'm really inspired by the kids at DBG because they're super into cooking, and so I've really let them take the lead on what they're interested in, and I'm just trying to shape it in terms of having a very complete culinary education. So learning about, food safety and sauces and roasting meats and everything in between. So it's been great. Oh yeah, that was great. Three more decisive chives. Yeah, put it in.
And what kind of healthy meals are you preparing for the kids?
We have breakfast for dinner sometimes, we have tacos, we make braises. I'm really trying to get the kids into vinaigrette. We also make ranch sometimes, which is really the most requested. I'm just trying to find out what they really are into, and then also just throw some wild cards in.
That's different.
That's good. Yeah, awesome.
I know kids can be notorious for being picky eaters. How do you make making healthy foods fun and simple?
So that was actually my biggest fear starting here, that the kids would be so picky that I would really be hindered in what I could make for them. And to my surprise, the kids are pretty open-minded about trying most things that we make. I would say about 85% of the kids at dinner time are game to try whatever we make, and then there's a smaller percentage that do have well, we have kids with dietary restrictions and allergies, but also some pickier kids, and I just try to maybe work with them and have some plainer options available when we do serve dinner.
And Molly has some big plans for the curriculum, including a guest chef's program.
They'll teach a class, and then it's my hope that they'll give us a recipe that we can actually make for dinner, just to have even a broader range of point of view for the kids to try new things that I wouldn't have thought to make as well. We're also working on a garden outside, a kitchen garden near the soccer field, that we'll be able to have a teaching space within the garden where we'll be able to grow food that we can harvest, bring in here so kids can see everything from seed to meal.
For downtown boxing gym founder Khali Sweeney, teaching children how to cook and where their food comes from has been a priority since the organization started in 2007. Why did you want to add culinary arts to the curriculum here?
Food brings people together. It's also the fuel that our body needs to get through the day. How can you go to school and function at a high level if you may have only had a bowl of cereal or something, or it's no lunch program at your school? So I wanted the gym to be that space where you can come get a healthy meal, learn about eating healthy and just being a healthy overall person.
And why was it important for the kids to get outside and see how food is grown?
Learning how to grow food straight from the ground, no preservatives, none of that type of stuff. That's a wonderful skill to have. And just getting back to nature and learning how to farm and stuff like that, that is a life skill. I thought it was important that kids were able to do that.
We're just gonna make a quick coleslaw. Well, we can eat this for dinner with our pizza.
What's something you learned to cook here with Molly?
We learned how to make smoothies, pancakes, yogurt. We frosted cakes.
You see yourselves having a future doing culinary arts?
Yes. I want to be a chef now.
Are you going to open your own restaurant?
Yeah, I'm going to try.
And I even got to join in on the taste test.
Okay, let's taste it and see what it means something. More lime juice? Yes.
What are your goals for the culinary arts program?
My goal is to really build out a program that is not only really informative and if somebody wanted to go get a job in a restaurant they could after taking this program, but really I'm trying to just cement an excitement for food that can be a lifelong passion, whether you're working in a restaurant or you're just learning how to cook really amazing meals for yourself and your loved ones.
That's different, good.
And that's going to do it for us this week. You can find out more about our guests at AmericanBlackJournal.org, and you can connect with us anytime on social media. Take care, and we'll see you next time.
From Delta faucets to Behr paint, Masco Corporation is proud to deliver products that enhance the way consumers all over the world experience and enjoy their living spaces. Masco, serving Michigan communities since 1929.
Support also provided by the Cynthia and Elsa Ford Fund for Journalism at Detroit PBS.
DTE Foundation is a proud sponsor of Detroit PBS. Among the state's largest foundations committed to Michigan-focused giving, we support organizations that are doing exceptional work in our state. Learn more at dtefoundation.com.
Also brought to you by Nissan Foundation and viewers like you. Thank you.